Hi everybody, this is Suzanne Hiron from Mamie Papyrus. Today I'd like to have a little bit of a chat about embossing folders. So I'd like to tell you a bit more about how they work, what kind of sandwich you need to prepare to put them into the machine, and how to add a bit of color. Let's get started. Today we're going to talk about embossing folders. There's different types of embossing folders that have come out recently, but let me just explain the principle behind the embossing folder and what it does to your piece of cardstock. So this is the traditional type. You'll see it's quite thin. You place your piece of cardstock in it, and I'll show you one that's already been done. And what I like to do is place it straight with the line that's on the folder so that your images will be straight when it comes out from the embossing machine. So what happens is that you have one side of the embossing folder that has a raised image and the other side is smooth. So when it goes through the rollers, the pressure on the folder and the paper will emboss your image into the cardstock. So that's why you need to make sure that your paper is on the right side when you want to emboss. Now the other new style is the 3D embossing folders. So you see these are quite thick compared to the first style, and some of them have really intricate patterns like this one here. So when you touch it, you'll see these flowers are really deeply ingrained into the plastic. So I'm going to show you an example of what we can do to add a bit of color. So I'll take my stamp pad here and just apply some ink to the folder. We'll take a piece of cardstock, put it on the paper, fold it on. I'll bring in my big shot. Now, because this is a thicker embossing folder, we're only going to need one plate for the sandwich. So you have your platform, you put your 3D embossing folder on the platform, add one clear plate, and run it through the machine. Let's see the result. So you see the ink was on the flat side and the embossed flowers popped out from the white cardstock. So it's a pretty impressive result. Another thing you can do to add some color is run your cardstock through the big shot, like I did here with the leaves. You take your ink pad and a sponge dauber, and you just sponge the images that are raised. So it'll give you this type of result. It's a really nice background for your cards. All you have to do is pop a sentiment on there and you're done. It's not a perfect science. You'll see there's different hues and tones to your color when you apply it this way. So here's another idea. And the last one I wanted to show you is one of the new types of embossing folders from Stampin' Up, which is, this one is the Scripty. And this one is kind of an in-between the 3D thickness and the traditional thin ones. So for this one, we need a special plate, which is this blue or purple one when you run it through the big shot. And the result is something like this. So it's more subtle than what we did with the 3D, but still a very nice addition to the background of your card. I hope you enjoyed this tip this week. Have fun trying out some embossing folders, and we'll see you next week.